Hello YouTubers, so I have yet acquired more air vents here for those of you that like to collect this kind of stuff. So yeah, I have been in the middle of re-renovations at my grandma's house here the past couple of months, and in the process some of these vents have been changed out. And so much I just bought as just to keep as extras, of course. So we'll start off with this Home Depot special Everbuilt 12x12 return vent. And like I said, like I mentioned in the video, the last video I done with these vents, these Everbuilt ones I've noticed are going with this trapezoid type of edge here. But in the past couple of months I've been at Home Depot, I've been noticing like some of the supply air vents, the ones that have those little little dividers. I noticed some of them are having they put little ridges in between them now. I guess to stop this from flexing as much. That True Air originally didn't do. Except with the 8x8, I believe. Well, actually, matter of fact, I have an example of that. This one here, no, it wasn't the 8x8s, it was the 14x14s. The 10x10s, the 12x12s, the 8x8s, and the 6x6s never used to have this ridge here. But now, I noticed at Home Depot, they all have this ridge now. And I guess this to stop it from flexing as much. That's just my observations. I know it's not bashing on it or anything. It's just that's just my observations. But here is the Everbuilt version. Now I have the True Air version of this exact type. There's the True Air version. Notice the edges? Big difference. And also it sounds different. Now this one didn't come from my grandma's house. As a matter of fact, this one came from the main room. My main room here. This one's original to this house where I'm at. I changed it out. I know this was just a return, but I changed it out for a supplier of it just because I like to be able to close it in the winter to keep the cold from coming in and also bugs. So yeah, there's this and that. And here's a 14x14, yet another Everbuilt Home Depot special. Got the same trapezoid edges, due in the package. I also have the True Air version of this too, which I shown in the very first video. Here's a True Air version. It also sounds different. Very different from what they originally used to look like. And here is another 14x12 or a 12x14. Now these were originally at my grandma's house, which this year replaced a bunch more. Well, it replaced one of these, and I have the other stack over there that I've gotten over the years. Now this one was all full of drywall mud and whatnot because it was kind of textured over, but I took a power washer and I blew all this stuff off. Now this came from the section of the house where we had to tear the ceiling down because, well, it suffered really, really bad termite damage, or I like to say significant termite damage. So we had to tear all that ceiling down and check the joists, and joists were good. The ceiling was bad, so in the process, this got changed out for one of these, which, as a matter of fact, there was two more. And in the opposite end of the house, because they live in a double-wide mobile home. Which, this used to be for a swamp cooler a long time ago, since they live in a double-wide mobile home. There used to be two swamp coolers, which they're long since been removed, and now it's just a duct that goes to nowhere. But luckily the holes on the roof have been plugged up. But they usually put these over the existing openings, the little 12 by 12 openings, and then they put a piece of plastic in the back to keep all the hot air from leaking back down into the house. But I since changed them out with these, and I put a new piece of plastic and sealed it really nicely, so that way there's absolutely zero air leaking out. And then I got, here's another interesting one. I don't know if you've ever seen this style. Now right away, I know the brand of this one. This is Shoemaker. And I also have a 6x6 version of this, so check out it right here. I have the little baby version right there, which I've shown in that first video. There's the baby version, there's the daddy version, I like to call it. This one has that little plastic little protector or sleeve over the little shutter, just like this one. This one is missing it. Now, I actually brought home 3 of these, but I ended up sticking one of them in the main room just because I could shut it, and it's kind of interesting looking. So I shoved one up in the little 12 by 12 opening in the room. Now, these ones did get a little rusty. I think these were used for a little bit in the swamp cooler in the 90s before they condemned the system. As you can see by all the little bit of surface rust. But there was a couple more in that. These other 2 I removed. Just my grandma told me, change these things out. I don't want them. They're ugly looking, dingy. So I changed the other 2 out with this as well to cover that entire opening. And I have been repainting the ceilings, so it made sense why they wanted me to change these out. Of course, I couldn't throw these in the garbage, so I saved them. And also because I have the 6x6 version. And last but not least, here's some mobile home vents. And here's a funny story. My grandma went to the Home Depot. She sometimes tends to forget things, but she accidentally got these 4x8s, and she's the type that she just says, I don't feel like returning it. It's a hassle, so instead she just like, here, take these, get them out of here. So I brought these back over here. It'll be nice to use in little enclosed, like a thing if I ever build something and I need ventilation. These are perfect for that. They're small. They have these little screw holes. They have shutters when needed. So yeah, this is the vent video. Just got to put all these back now. Thought I'd shoot this video before I put all of this stuff back. Hello YouTubers. So this is a continuation of the vent video, which was filmed 7 months ago. And in the past month, I acquired a lot more of these things. So we'll start off with this one here. Now this one is I don't know the brand of these, but I got it from Grainger on eBay. Because I guess Grainger has their profile on eBay. If you guys are needing filter returns in particular, go shop on Grainger. They got you. These things, I think I paid like $15 for this, which is pretty cheap. Probably something like this at Home Depot is probably like double the price. And I have 2 of these things. Well, that's what this box is here. There's another one of these. I don't know the brand of these, but let's open up our imaginary filter here, as I'll call it. Now this, I got a 12 by 12 by 1 filter in here. And if you guys are needing filters, go to Lowe's. Lowe's has got you with the filters. You not find these anywhere else except Lowe's and Walmart. They're the only places, that, at least locally in my area, that carry these filters. Chances are, if you got a Lowe's area and you need a 12 by 12 filter, just go to Lowe's. And also the nice thing is this one's, they actually have these hinges on them that you could detach from the frame. I think that's something that Everbuilt/TrueAir needs to do on their filter returns. Instead of having the permanent hinges, makes it easier to wash the actual grill assembly off. So yeah, there's my 12 by 12 by 1 filter return grill here. And then we have the commercial stuff. So this one here is an air vector. One of those 12 by 12 lay-in drop ceiling vents. Usually you find these like in small little areas such as bathrooms and whatnot, or small rooms in particular. These are popping up everywhere, at least the 24 by 24 versions of these. I'll call these the fancy vents. You see them in a lot of high-end stores. Now all this really is, it's just a pretty simple design. This is just a metal plate that's flat. There's no cone or nothing on it. It's just a flat piece of metal with tabs connected to it. That's all these things are. At least this one is. This one has an 8-inch collar, which I've been back and forth to Texas within the last month, so I went to Home Depot over there because of course, you know, I live at Home Depot all the time. I picked some stuff up, one of which was this collar. This one is an 8-inch, which that's what this uses, an 8-inch to a 6-inch collar, because I got 25 feet worth of 6-inch flex duct, because I'm going to be building something soon for these. Not all, but some of these. This is a reducer. That's what you call these things. So yeah, there's this. And then we have another one here. Well, you don't really see these small ones ever. We just see the 24 by 24 versions of this. And this one is a Titus, however you pronounce it, TMS air diffuser. This one is a 12 by 12 model with a 6-inch collar on the top of your duct. There's all the info if you want to scan that or look it up or whatever. I used to have a 24 by 24 version of this, and oddly enough, it had a 6-inch collar too, but I sold that like 2 or 3 years ago because obviously the thing is too darn big and they start getting in the way. So, you know, I downsized to a smaller one, quite literally. It's cool I have one of these. These I got for cheap on eBay. If you do your research, you can get these things cheap. And this one I have shown before. This one's the one from Metro Center Mall. This one's the one I pulled out of that little bathroom that was in the store. That's just a comparison between those. Well, there's those three there. Those ones are commercial. But this one uses a 6x6 opening. So yeah, there's that. There's that again. And then I mentioned I've been back and forth to Texas within the last month a couple of times. Well, I've been helping some family re-renovate this really, it's like a 1963 little house, which is kind of weird. It's my great-grandma's house, but that property has 2 houses. There's one that was my great-grandma's house, and then there's this other house I call it the odd house. But it was built before my great-grandma's house. But that house is the first one on that property to be built. And it was built in 1963. And that poor house has gotten so much hack jobs done to it. It's pretty bad. So, but while we've been re-renovating, all this little stuff like this that's been getting removed. Well, it's been getting thrown away. It was going to get thrown away. So I've been saving this stuff. And what this thing here is, some of you might know this, but this is one of those carbon monoxide exhaust vents where you would vent your hot water heater or gas heaters to outside. This is that connects to the flue pipe. You find these on the top of houses that have gas appliances, like I said, hot water heaters, gas heaters. This one I think is from the 90s. This was a pretty large one. This was from the 90s. This was probably from the 2000s. Aluminum. Uses 3 inch. I think this one is a 4-inch. The size of a dryer duct. And then there's a 3-inch one here. I saved a bunch of those pipes too in that house. Well, because I don't like throwing that kind of stuff away. And then on to more vents here, which continuing on from that house I've been mentioning. Here are these two 12x12s here. They may look like those True Air or Everbuilt 10x10s, but these are 12x12s. And I believe these are from the 90s. Check out that little opening, little lever there. It's all curled. That was pretty common in the 90s. But this, and also this, came from that house. So here's this. Now these were in the trash pile, and you know I saved these because you know I like to save this kind of stuff. I never let this stuff go to waste because for one of these it's like probably like $30 at Home Depot nowadays. Expensive. I remember they used to be $20 like 5-6 years ago. Now here is this is what you call a register boot or a duct boot, and this opening here is an 8-inch duct collar that has on it. Now there was two of these in that house, and there was no central AC. There wasn't never a central AC installed in that house. It's a small little house, but for whatever reason, someone installed two of these with flex duct that actually went nowhere. Even the two were not connected together. And here's another one here. But for whatever reason, I don't know why this one they bent the fins out. It was never connected to anything. Here's another one of those boots. And also, you bet I saved some of that flex duct. Here it is right here. Except I stripped all the insulation off because, you know, I don't want to be bringing fiberglass in the room, so. Now, one end of this here connected to that, and then the other end went nowhere. It was just tossed in the attic. That's what I mean by hack jobs done in the house. And I believe this was installed, like I said, in the 90s. Here's the plastic liner of the duct. That is an 8-inch duct, flex duct. Just plastic, that's all what this is. It looks kind of like those foil ducts you find on the dryers. But, oh, so this is that's what the inside of a flex duct looks like, in case you're wondering. Big long snakes. That, and these two came from that house. So, and also before I forget, this is where the flue pipe connects to the hot water heater. Thought it was cool, so I saved it. It's an old hot water heater from the 90s that was pretty much at the end of its life. Now, this one I have shown in the video in the past. The only thing different is I found that I guess got a 8x8 register or a duct boot that has a 6-inch duct opening. Now this one you can find at Home Depot or Lowe's, but this one particular one I got from Home Depot, of course in Texas. If you want to look up that part number, here's the barcode. Now if you are collectors and you want to get some of these, be aware some of these are sharp. Well, these are all sharp, but these ones are even sharper. This one I have shown in a video in the past, but this one is new. This vent is new that I just recently acquired. Now, this one came from another house in the family, except this one is from Mexico. My other grandma and grandpa's house in Mexico. Now, this one was installed in the master bathroom, and I remember that house had a Carrier. It was an old 1980s Carrier central AC for that part of the house. And this one was in the bathroom, the master bathroom, like I mentioned. And then there's this is the damage that the salt in the air does, because they pretty much have a house close to the beach, or right at the beachfront. So that's the toll that the salt takes on these kind of things. Salt damage. But it's not bad. It could be, if I sandblasted these things, it would be, make it look new. From Mexico. And I believe that's from the 1980s. It's a side-by-side comparison to a True Air 6x6. This one came from this house I'm in right now that I had extra. There's a comparison between the two of them. And this is separate. This is another one of those register boots from Home Depot. A 6x6 version. There's a barcode if you want to look that up. There's that. And like I said, you could just take this, put it right on there, connected to your imaginary air ducts or whatever. And then last but not least, at least for the vents I got here, I got the 16x20 filter return, also from Mexico. The same house. This came from the same system. This was from the same system as that. This was in the master bedroom. And I don't have a screwdriver with me right now, but this one's, use a flathead screwdriver to open up the filter return. This was, I believe it's from the 1980s as well. Very well built. It's not flimsy. And the nice thing is with this style is that this particular style of filter returns don't have that ringing sound that a lot of people get annoyed about, because of the air turbulence that causes these louvers to produce that annoying ringing sound. This one doesn't have that. And yes, I stuck a 16x20 filter in there just for the giggles of it, our imaginary filter. One of these fancy Filtrate air filters. Came from an old Carrier system. And the reason these two got removed was, well, that Carrier system got removed quite some number of years ago, but they left these in place because there was a mini split that got installed in that bedroom. And they decided to re-renovate that bathroom and get rid of the closet in that room, which this was part of the closet side because that's where the air handler was. And then directly on the adjacent wall, there was a bathroom to that. It was just one giant duct that connected this, and a couple other vents, which I don't have those in that house. And they decided to get rid of that closet and instead expand the bathroom into the closet. So these had to go, and I requested that somebody else is doing that house, a local over there. And I made the request to save these two because obviously I hate wasting this kind of stuff. And honestly, it was just going to probably go to the scrapyard anyway. So I saved more stuff from the scrapyard or the landfill or whatever you want to call it. Here's some more stuff related to HVAC or air vents. So here I have a 25-foot roll of 6-inch foil duct. Exhaust duct. This is not all the ducts I have. Somewhere up on that shelf there, I have probably 6-7 more of a 4-inch ones, plus more sitting in the room. I have a lot of 4-inch ducts, but this one I don't have very many of these 6s. All I have is maybe like a 6-foot 6-inch duct. But here's a 25-footer. Use it for a project in the future. Just scan that barcode if you wish to find it at your local Home Depot or wherever. And then there's these, which some of you might not know what these things are. These are evaporator coils you would find in a refrigerator such as that. But in Texas, when I was in Texas, there was this little outhouse outside. It's like a full, like almost a full bathroom, but with a sink and a toilet, but in an outhouse. And for so many years, they had a lock on the door, because like I mentioned in the other part of the video, there's been so many people in that house over the years. And my uncle was there, and he said, you know what? Get the hammer and let's brute force our way into that bathroom. So we busted this lock and finally opened that door. And inside that, there was a bathroom vanity in there. And inside the vanity, there was like 10 of these things and a bunch of other junk. There was 10 of these things. Because I have family that has appliance repair shops over there. And they used to use that property to hold all the refrigerators and whatnot, all the stuff that needed to be repaired. And they just ended up dumping these in that bathroom. There's nothing wrong with these. The fins are a little bent, but I have like probably 6 or 7 of these things I brought back. I believe there's like 2 or 3 in this box and then 1 more in that box. 2 here and another one here. All aluminum, which is nice because that won't leak as easily. So my plan with these refrigerator coils is I'm thinking about obviously cutting all this messy stuff off, all this crap I'll call it. It just expose the ends that go into here, because all this is just one continuous loop. And I want to put pump some icy cold water through this. Kind of like those people that do it with a heater core or one of those transmission radiators. It's the same concept except using refrigerator coils. Want to make a little mini air handler with it. And I kind of made something like that. Man, like probably a couple of years ago. There's that box up there. They were going 2-3 years ago when I made this. I have some microwave blower fans inside of it. And then I put a little heater core you find in a car. The problem with the heater core is the opening is too small. So I decided to... I was actually going to buy something like this, but I don't need to buy anything like that now, because now I have like 6, 7 of these things. Some of them have rows of 4 on them. Some have 2 rows. This one will be probably a good candidate for that project. I just have to find a pump that's powerful to force the water through the whole loop. Here's a jug of R134A replacement refrigerant. It's not straight 134A. It's like I said, it's a replacement, a substitute. I'll say a cleaner version of it, but I found this at my other grandma and grandpa's house, and I could tell, like, at one point, they tried to throw this in the dumpster, which I know is a huge no-no. You're not supposed to throw that in the dumpster, but they didn't know, so luckily they had the garbage man saw this, and he just put it to the side. So, and I saw it, and I absolutely took it, because, well, it was trash. And it's, like, mostly full still, too. It's still got a lot of refrigerant. So who knows, maybe one day I'll probably use it for something. Maybe it would definitely be useful for this. If I had a compressor and the proper setup, it would work with this. Quite literally, because all these got pulled out of refrigerators probably from sometime in the mid-2000s. And I'm pretty sure by then all those refrigerators used R134A. At that point, just like that refrigerator there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.